You're going through that. You got your machine. You started like making your samples back in the day. You're running it through the like your situation. And are you like rapping on your own stuff at first? Or are you doing it for other people? Like what got you into producing?
Because I had all that sound in me, and like, and I didn't want. I got tired of like when I finally got a little opportunity to get a little extra money in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? I was tired of paying the other studios to do my music. I would have to go in the studio, pay the producer to produce it, to engineer it, and mix it, and that was a big
Hold up,
price.
you had to pay
So I
people to
had to.
produce the beat for you on the spot, like you wasn't coming in with beats already.
Exactly, exactly. A lot of the times.
Was that like how it was?
In certain situations, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I didn't have my own way of making beats. So I'd have to go into to a place and let the dude produce it right there. This was like before social media was like really big, you know what I'm saying? Like, where people were sharing beats and doing all that other stuff, you know, at that point, in between 95 and 2000, there was a need to get a machine. You wanted to produce your own music if you could do it,
Mm.
you know, if I didn't know what I was doing, I wouldn't have grabbed it. I just learned it from all the other people who were doing it.
And do you like play instruments or did you just kind of learn to produce?
Yeah, I play the chords, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not like I couldn't sit up there and just pull out a whole concerto or nothing like that kind of a deal.
Fair. Um,
Yeah.
so you start producing your own music and you're just kind of running on it at that point and then working with other people. Are you able to like sell
Yep.
beats or anything like that?
Nah, I never sold them. I did actually produce something for a younger dude, and he was like doing like kind of that hip hop soul stuff. And we almost had a label that almost bid onto it, but he was a younger dude, so it didn't. He had too many issues in school, and that's a long story. But that was as close to it got to where making
Mm,
some good money. You know what I'm saying? They were going to buy the publishing and everything for it, but
right.
it didn't happen.
Eh, life is full of sometimes moments
You're
like
right.
that. So when it comes down to like music videos and stuff like that, you're still producing all of that yourself, right? And I see you guys are active with it. Like you've got like off of your last project even music videos.
Yeah, I either create them or I work. I either do them myself, or I'll work with somebody that like Seven Sisters that did the Generation Mike. He does Indigo, a lot of Indigo Phoenix's videos too. You know what I'm saying? He's really good at what he does. So just either doing it myself. Most of them are all myself. Yeah.
And like, do you have like a cell phone? Do you have like a nice cam set up? Like, how do you go
Yeah,
about it?
I got my Olympus. I love my Olympus. It's a great camera. You know what I'm saying? It does sharp images. That's really what I would recommend to any artists that are trying to make their own videos. Make sure they get a good camera. And if you're going to use your phone, use it for simple stuff like doing acapellas or rhyming, in your studio live or something. But don't rely on your cell phone to make your video. Go
Mm-hmm.
out and buy the camera. It's worth it. It definitely is worth it. Even you got to put a little payment plan on it. It's definitely worth it.
Like when you say that, what about like? And I'm not trying to be mad contrarian, but like I sent home girls some shit I shot with Galaxy S10. I actually just went to New York. I actually went to 1080. I shot the whole shit with my Galaxy, and it came
Came
out
out
like
good. Came out
amazing.
good.
And I'm not
Yeah,
saying all
I've seen it.
cameras. So I'm saying
No, I'm
what?
just saying this is what I would recommend.
Mm,
Cell phones do take some good imagery, like your phone. I know which one your phone does. It does take some real good stuff, man. I'm just saying what I would prefer. You
understood.
know?
I just wanted to
Yeah.
like, cause otherwise, yeah, no, not every camera can handle it. Not, and especially when you're dealing with stuff like, I was really surprised at the contrast of light today. I was blown away that it worked. I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting that.
Like, the bigger the sensor, it matters. Like, that's why I'm talking about those cameras that have those huge sensors
Mm.
inside of them, like a Canon or like something like
And
that.
you have to get like
You
all
know
these
those.
fancy lenses and shit. Cause I'm gonna be real with you. I feel like a camera
Oh
is
yeah, they're expensive.
like you're gonna get like one thing, and then you think it's gonna be like 1,000, and then it's 5,000.
Yep.
And that's my
Yep.
that's why I'm like pro cell phone, because the cell phone is just the
I
cell
got you,
phone.
man. I got you.
Because I don't even disagree with you, but like, yo, because man, like just like on another tip, like dude, homeboy has the new iPhone or one of the newest iPhones, and he did like 3D fucking videos of his like place that could be like there's some wild shit going on in like the newest of the cell phones that I'm not even on yet that like
Yeah.
works with some next level video tech where I don't know if all the cameras like, do you think like the 3D videos and shit are gonna become more relevant?
Well, I think it's sooner or later going to become like Demolition Man. It's all going to be holograms, and it's going to be based off of some little thing you set on the table, and and you'll talk to it, give it commands, and it'll just blow up a hologram in front of you, and you'll be able to type within the hologram too. I think a lot of that stuff that I've seen in those old movies, 99% of them have all come about. Even in Minority Report, a lot of that shit's all now. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. But I think the next thing is holograms. When the cell phone stops evolving, it'll become holograms.
Yeah, holograms would be super cool. I never really thought about it from a hologram perspective. Because, like, I mean, I'm into VR and shit, so I'm all about this. I'm, like, really trying to, like, we're, like, looking into how to get, like, avatars. So, like, I found this crazy, my video editor proposed this app that will film me on my webcam and turn me into a cartoon. And I'm like, that's actually pretty fire if it works right. And we're like,
cool. Yeah,
because it's just like automatic and shit, and I can be like, forget about cheap ass cell phone videos like that. I could be a different cartoon in every video. I don't even have to leave my room. That's gonna be like whatever. But like, are you into this whole like VR future metaverse that's coming through?
Hey, if it's gonna make my music video cool, I like that stuff. But I like a balance in everything. I'm like a nature dude, but I do like a lot of those special things that these phones can do, or that's out there, good software, good, ways to make your videos more cooler, animation, all that stuff. Hell yeah, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I might hire somebody to do the animation, but if it's that easy to do with your phone, hell yeah, it's cool too.
This is like on my computer with a webcam. This isn't even with the phone.
As long as it ain't cheesy and it works.
I can't promise that technology's not cheesy, bro. That's so relative. What I think is fun, you may really think is cheesy, and vice versa. I've learned a lot about.
And who knows that's subjective? I'm just being totally subjective.
Nah, I'll be real with you. Pretty much everything in the VR space world is, bro. You gotta be willing to look past it right now. Is where it's at. Okay. It's not bad. It is corny. But like it's fucking cool.
If it's gonna help music and do what it does, get it out there to the masses, hell yeah.
If you were like a DJ or a stand-up comic right now, VR is a fucking gold mine. You don't have to leave your room.
Okay.
Because like DJs be like not going there because everything's scary. I think. But like the metaverse is like basically like. Man, when I was a teenager, there was stuff like Neopets and Habba Hotel and all this shit. And I was like the dork that was on the computers hanging out in the private rooms that was over there. Hell, there was actually this thing called Coke Studios when I was young. And it was just like you got this 4-track beat maker from Coca-Cola. It was actually Coca-Cola that made this. It was a whole website. And then you would go to different rooms and play your beats and people would thumbs up it and you would get like coins. And then it was this weird economy that you could like it was wild. Like you could buy furniture and shit and you would deck out your room. So like for me this metaverse has just like kind of always been around and correlated with music in my head. But it's kind of like that private spaces, like it would be like you could create the Whichcraft Palace and this giant ass virtual room where like avatars show up and party with you. That's how I picture this shit really going. And I think musicians drive it forward more than anybody else because everything else sounds stupider than that. Like, I don't want to go to fucking VR, but one time I went to the VR club. It wasn't great, but man, in the middle of Montreal's curfew, the VR club wasn't bad. Like, yo, actually, somebody made a joke about a strip joint. I literally read an article that talked about how there's this app called VR Chat and there's virtual strip clubs. And I'm like, what? But yeah, already in VR, there's like strip clubs and shit. Like it's Wild West out there in this world. Like biggest one, church. Believe it or not, people be wildly going to church in VR. That was one of the earliest proponents. That's what got my attention. I'm like, wait, if church is doing it, this is real.
So VR now, it took me a minute, but virtual
reality.
Okay, gotcha. I just want to make sure on the same page. Yep.
I would argue it's like
that's definitely the world,
and it's less about like literally the VR headset, but more the manifestation of virtual reality.
Okay.
Like the headset's what I think we all think of, but like it's more like these spaces. Even like Discord is in a sense just a really shitty one with no avatars. If you ever use Discord or like these private spaces and whatnot. I don't know. I'm kind of. Willie's like, shut up and go back to rapping. I'm like, fair enough. I get really lost sometimes in the tech stuff. That's one of my huge passions outside of music. But with all that, who is the Dead Poet Society? And like,
that's a crew of two dudes and from Philly, great producers. They also MC once in a while. They kind of go back and forth, but their main forte is producing. Man, they're like the arsonists. They bounce off of each other, their ideas, and they're constantly on their pads. They just like constantly making greatness, and so I definitely thought it was necessary that we collaborated. You know what I'm saying?
So how do you go about like finding new people to collab with?
Just from the strength of, if we're under the same radars, we usually see each other on mixed shows or something like, and then we just follow each other on Instagram and we start networking and things happen like through that. You know what I'm saying? I know most of these guys, we're all familiar with each other from like shows that we're on, different shows or whatever.
Yeah, because like when you Google you, I was like, is that like his group or no? He's collabing with them, and then as you dig in, you just see Witchcraft did a lot of stuff all over. So like, how many albums did you say you've done?
Since I started making them, or just in general, like the last few years.
No, since you started, like the beginning of Witchcraft.
Probably about 25. About 25 of them. You know what
Holy
I'm saying?
shit,
Like
that's
in between EPs and albums. Yeah, not yeah.
yeah, that's pretty impressive, man. And you just keep going. Do you ever like run out of ideas?
Nah, but there's been some dead spots. You know what I'm saying in the past, but in the last few years, nah, it's just I hit the ground running again, and I haven't. It just hasn't stopped, man. It just keeps coming out, so that's great. Because there is writer's block. I haven't gotten it yet.
Right. I mean, I find that's like often super correlated to life. Life like puts you in positions where you're creative, and then maybe sometimes you're not as much. Um,
Hmm.
so like, I guess what's inspiring you lately? Like, do you listen to a lot of other music? Do you like stay like abreast of what's going on in the underground scenes?
Oh yeah, I mean all the shows, from Gorilla Grooves to my man Glib Styles, Cut Supreme, all the things that I've heard in boom bap lately. I mean, it's definitely different than I've ever heard it. You know what I'm saying? It's like there seems to be a great energy now, and I'm sure it's because of everything around us. We're just products of our environment, but it's definitely a breath of fresh air. I feel like a new golden era coming on than, like how it used to be from 1990 to 2000. I think there's going to be another decade, which is about to start. And we're already in the making. I can see it, there's definitely a new vibe, a new way of, sound going on.
Mm,
I think it's the intensity of the vocal and the intention brought to the track.
I definitely think there's a lot of that happening. Yeah. Also, like, life's weird, so like people got more to say,
Mhm.
and
Yeah, and there's more of us now too. The population has tripled since I've started. I sound like an old man saying that, but it's true. You know.
that's true. I was thinking as you were saying that, I bet every scene is having the same conversation. Actually, my scene's about to do
Hmm.
really well because I think everyone's scene's about to do well. I think a lot less people are gonna make millions, but a lot more people will make like a hundo. Like that's where
Hmm.
the scene's kind of I see going. Just because,
Yeah.
man, that's what the algorithm does. Everyone hates the algorithm, but it really is gonna give a lot of people a lot more chances than they had. Not the celebrities, the really rich
Yeah, it makes
people.
us work harder because it definitely every year they change it. It changes then I have to step it up and try other new ideas in order to get back up to because you'd be like go from 1,000 views to like 300 views and you're like, this is not my algorithm, my usual, and then it'll change the next year and change the next year. It's like, I think some things, if they're not broken, they shouldn't be fixed, in my opinion. I think if it's flowing well and it's doing its thing, I say leave it alone and work on something else, work on a different thing,
Mm,
while that thing's doing its thing. I think they changed too much of that shit up, in my opinion. Pardon my language.
yeah, you can swear. I've been cussing the whole time.